Hello Year 9, here's Dr. Tolchinova and I would like to explain to you your homework on angles and parallel lines. So the first couple of questions will be quite easy and we'll go over this very quickly. So if you see on this diagram, A and 130 degrees angles are equal to each other, and so A is 130 because angles are corresponding, and we know that corresponding angles are equal. Alright, on the second diagram, B and 124 angles, they are allied angles in parallel lines, and so therefore they add up to 180 degrees. So we have to calculate B. 180 minus 124 equals 56 degrees, and remember to write the reason in full sentence straight after your calculation, your answer, your reason. Okay, so the next diagram is shows you two angles C and 48 degrees. As you see, you have two parallel lines here, one transversal, and these two angles created are called alternate angles, and they are equal as well. So C is 48 degrees because alternate angles are equal. Okay, remember always try to state which angle is equal to which, and the reason in full sentence. Question 2 now. In question 2, I will be writing here all reasons quite quickly and in a short way, just to write which angles, what is relationship between these two angles. But remember, in your examination I would advise you to write in full sentences, because actually alternate angles or corresponding angles, the relationship between those two are that they are equal. But if you're talking about allied angles, we know that allied angles add up to 180 degrees. So in strictly examination, from examination point of view, it's not enough just to state what angles in the brackets. You have to state full sentence, as we did with the first question. Here I don't have enough space and you don't have enough space either, so for this particular case it's okay if we will write just what a relationship or what angles we are talking about. Okay, so on the first diagram, we have more than one or two angles here to consider. We have two parallel lines, and this question is a bit more complicated. We have more than one transversal. We have one and the second one. Don't be distracted by the second transversal. Consider them one by one. So again, split the question into two parts. So you have one pair of parallel lines, and consider just one transversal at the first stage. So therefore it says that so we have one transversal, we have two angles D and 72 degrees, so they are equal and they are alternate angles. Now consider the second transversal, this one. Okay, we have again two parallel lines, one transversal, so these two angles will be equal because they are alternate angles. E is 50 degrees, alternate angles. Again, question B looks a bit more complicated, but in fact, to make it easier, you have to consider two transversals, one and the second one by one. So look, we have two parallel lines here, and we have one transversal first. With this transversal, we see two angles are connected to this one. Okay, F and 65 degrees. So you can see from their position that they are corresponding angles, and so therefore we can state that F equals 65 degrees and they are corresponding angles. Now it is time to consider the second transversal. We have again the same parallel lines 1 and 2, and the second transversal is here. Alright, now which angles are connected to this transversal? G and 134 degrees. From their position you can see that they allied angles, and therefore they add up to 180 degrees. Therefore, to find G, everything what I need to subtract 134 degrees from 180 degrees. My answer is, I believe, 46 degrees, and I wrote in brackets allied angles. Now let's consider the third diagram. So here I will not be writing reasons, but I would like you to write reasons, please. Okay, and we'll start looking into this diagram. First of all, let's find where our parallel lines are, and I would like to highlight for you first of all where they are. So I have here one parallel line and another parallel line. Okay, and as usually, once we identified where parallel lines are, we need now to look at this diagram step by step. And first of all, I will find one transversal first. So let's start working with this one first. Okay, that is one transversal. Once this line intercepts those two parallel lines, what we can see that some angles were created, right? Say for example H and 75 degrees angles are connected to these two parallel lines and this transversal. So you see them here. They are alternate here. Look at their position. They are like reflection of one of another to different sides. They're looking at different sides. They are alternate angles. So therefore H is equal to 75 degrees, and the reason is alternate angles are equal. Are there any other angles that are connected to this transversal? At the moment I can't see any. So it seems like finished with this transversal. So let's look at the second one. Okay, now we are looking at the second transversal here. Alright, and so can we see any angles connected to this transversal? Immediately we see this 61 and this angle. There are corresponding angles from their position, and so therefore J will be 61 degrees, and the reason is corresponding angles are equal. Okay, what can we say about this angle I now? We can use different reasons to find I. For example, I and J, they form a straight line together, and angles at a straight line, they add up to 180 degrees. So to find I, you can subtract 61 from 180 degrees for the reason that angles at a straight line add up to 180 degrees, or you can use 61 degrees angle with I together, and you can say that these two angles are allied and they add up to 180 degrees. Therefore I is 180 degrees minus 61, but your reason will be different. Your reason will be because allied angles add up to 180 degrees. Both solutions will be marked, they will be given full marks, and everything what we are left with is just to give correct answers. As far as I understand, it should be 119 degrees, and the reason, whatever you decide, whether you like allied angles or whether you would like to use a straight line angles add up to 180, you don't need to use both of them. Okay, use just one of those. Okay, right, now we need to look at more complicated questions. Question 3. Okay, question 3, we'll go over this very quickly. Okay, we have two parallel lines, we have one transversal. Before you start even thinking about what those angles are, you first need to identify where are your parallel lines are. Okay, that's parallel lines, and that is your transversal. Okay, that is your transversal. And so once you have found what you've got, now you can find the angles. The only angle that you were given was this angle 39 degrees. Let's find any other angle that is connected to our 39 degrees in any way. So what I see now, the easiest angle to identify for me would be E. E is 39 degrees because they are vertically opposite angle. They share vertex and they are opposite angle. Okay, so you will write vertically opposite angles are equal. I will write first here vertically opposite angles. Could you please make sure that you checked your spelling and you have double P here, you have double L, that you have all syllables in the right place. Okay, vertically opposite angles are equal. You have to spell it all correct. Okay, now let's move on. Okay, we have found E. We can find C easy. E and 39 are corresponding angles. So therefore, sorry, C is 39 degrees because they are corresponding. We have found this angle, we have found that angle. What else can we find? As far as I understand, we can easy to find, say for example, angle A, because angle A and 39, they form a straight line. So A will be 180 minus 39. 180 minus 39. Okay, I can subtract 40 from 180, which is 140, and then return 1 back. So that will be 141 degrees. And the reason, because angles at a straight line add up to 180. So once I have found A, okay, that is 141, I can find easily D. What is D? D is vertically opposite with A, so they are equal, and D is 141 degrees. Why? I can find easy B now if I know A. Easy, because A and B are corresponding angles. Look at their position. We have here two parallel lines, one transversal. Okay, we created several angles, and these two angles are corresponding angles, and they are equal. Okay, and you have to state all those reasons. Okay, now let's find other angles. In this diagram we have three parallel lines, 1, 2, 3, and two transversals. Okay, so let's do step by step. Okay, I will consider this transversal first, because I see here the only angle that I was given was 47 degrees, and I hope that I will identify as many angles as possible. Alright, I have three parallel lines, one transversal here, so therefore A is 47 degrees because they are corresponding, 47 and A. Okay, A and 47, they are corresponding. I know also that B is corresponding with A and 47, so B has to be 47 degrees. Okay, is there any chance I can find more angles connected to this transversal? I can't see at the moment. So the only angle that I can find really is angle C. C and 47, they form a straight line. Okay, C has nothing to do with this transversal, it's too far away. So I think it is time to find C. C and 47 form straight lines, so altogether they add up to 180 degrees. So 180 degrees minus 47, if I will subtract 50 from 180, it will be 130, and I have to return 3 back, so it will be 133 degrees, and the reason, angles at a straight line add up to 180. Okay, right, now we need to find now all angles associated with this transversal now, and three parallel lines. Okay, all right, we can find many solutions. For example, first we can find angle D. Maybe we can use this triangle. Okay, and once I have found D, I'll be able to find E because they are corresponding. Or I can use this straight line. At this straight line, I know three angles. I know there are three angles. A, which is 47. This angle is right angle triangle because of I see this sign, so it means it is 90 degrees. And therefore E will be 180 minus 90 and 47. To a certain extent, those two solutions are different, but in fact calculations will be the same, just reason will be different. In this case, if I will add 47 and 90, and I will subtract that from 180, the reason will be angles in a triangle add up to 180. Okay, so I need to add up 90 and 47, okay, which is 137 degrees, and then 180 minus, you can write basically first of all angles as a bunch together in brackets, and then to have just simply one more step, take away 137 degrees. I know that many of you would prefer to do it, you know, step-by-step calculation, to add first these two angles 137 without explaining what you're doing. But once you subtract this sum from 180, you have to explain why. Okay, and for some of you, you will see that angles in a triangle add up to 180, and some of you will want to use this case. Okay, you would add 47 and 90 and you subtract this from 180, because angles at a straight line add up to 180, but then you would have to have letter E here, because E with 90 and 47 at a straight line, not D. Alright, so okay, finally answer 180 minus 137, 100 minus 100, 100 has gone, and now 80 minus 37. I will take away 40 from 80, that is 40, and I have to return back 3, so my answer will be 43 degrees. So if D is 43 degrees, then E will be 43 degrees as well, because they are corresponding angles. Okay, let's do this one now. In this question we have two parallel lines, we have two transversals, and we need to find as many angles as possible connected to the angles that are given to us. For example, if we'll start from angle 40 degrees, then we see that R, okay, if we know these two lines are parallel, okay, these two lines are parallel, and then we need to look at this transversal. Okay, so if I know this angle 40 degrees, okay, then I know this angle will be R will be 40 degrees as well, because they are corresponding angles. Can I find N? Yes. Or M? Yes, we can. For example, we can find M. M and R form a straight line together. They add up to 180 degrees. So M is 180 minus 40 degrees is 140 degrees. So M is 140 degrees. Okay. So therefore N will be 140 as well. If you look at the position of these angles N and M, you see we have two parallel lines, one transversal, so M and N are corresponding, so N is 140 degrees as well. Alright, do we have any other angles that are connected to this transversal? We can't see at the moment, so let's move to the second transversal, this one. Are there any angles that will be easy to find? Yes, there is such. If I know this angle is 46 degrees, then Q will have to be 46 degrees as well. You can see they form alternate angle. Okay, alternate angles. There are alternate angles, therefore they are equal. So we have found Q is 46 degrees, and how can we find P? Easier, right? P and 46, they form straight line, so therefore P will be 180 minus 46 degrees, and therefore if we'll take 50, it will be 130, add 4 more, so 134 degrees is our answer. And the reason for that, because angles at a straight line add up to 180. We'll finish this question 4 in the second video.